It's been an NBA season to remember for some, and an NBA season to regret for others. We're going to break down everything that you need to know about what went on in this season and exactly where everybody places going into the playoffs and with awards just around the corner. I'm your host, Joey Mercer. This is another episode of Joe Mercer Sports Podcast. And before we get into it there today, I just want to thank everybody for the continued support on the channel. And to make sure if you're watching this content, to go down below, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and every time we upload, you'll be able to stay up to date with our takes on the NBA, as well as everything that you need to know around it. Why not? It's free. You can stay up to date right here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's get at the topics, I should say, on hand. Talking more so about this season and the awards that are going to happen very shortly with the last games being played today. We could actually see this article from the New York Post. They talk back and forth between three different writers, being Stephon Bondi, Brian Lewis, and Mike Vaccaro. This one was published there today, and it's titled The 2025 NBA Awards Predictions with a Razor-Thin Race for MVP. Now, the ESPN straw poll actually had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning the NBA MVP, pretty handily over Joker at 77-23 for the first place votes. But let's see what this got to say in this article. Starts off by saying Nikola Jokić and the Nuggets toss up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but Jokić doesn't have nearly as much help and is averaging a 30-point triple-double, which is my opinion. That's what I had to say. That's what Stephon Bondi has to say here, and that's my opinion on it as well. I mean, there's been so many injuries, and for the Nuggets to still be such a great franchise and team this season with the firing of Michael Malone, and then you've got everything going on with injuries with the team, whether it be Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., everybody's missed a little bit of time, but Jokić has been there. The Thunder have been a phenomenal team, but Jokić has been everything for the Nuggets. Brian Lewis then said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder should win. The Oklahoma City Thunder guard unseats Jokić, who has won 3 of the past 4 awards, by leading the league in scoring, and the Thunder to the top of the standings. So that makes me think that he is considering voter fatigue quite handily in that opinion of his. Mike Vaccaro then said Jokić should win. It's so razor thin between and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but I keep asking myself, whose team would implode without them? To me, that clinched it for Jokić. I like that opinion a lot. That's why I wanted to bring up all of these and kind of break down what I think about there. I like that one. Without Nikola Jokić, the Nuggets are not a playoff team. I think the Thunder without Shai are still fighting in the play-in. They're nowhere near as good as they are, but they could still make the postseason. They still have another all-star on the team in little Jalen Williams. Jalen without the Y. Williams, for sure. But when you look at the Nuggets, if they don't have Jokić, they're a lottery team. They're not great. Jamal Murray's health has been an issue always, and Jokić has been there to support that. Even if he was healthy, that team on paper is nowhere near good enough to make it as far as they have with Jokić on the team. So my selection and my opinion on those is Nikola Jokić for MVP. That would be my choice. Obviously, I don't have a vote, but that would be it. Next, we're going to talk about the DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year. There's been a couple back and forths with this, but it seems like the front runners are really between Amen Thompson, Evan Mobley, and Draymond Green. Now, I'm going to break down what I think about this as well, but let's get about what Bondi had to say about this. He said Amen Thompson should win of the Rockets. Just a pest and the number one reason the Rockets have transformed to a top 5 defensive team. So Amen Thompson, a very good shout out there for sure. I think he could be a solid selection. I'm really torn between the 3 options. I don't think Draymond will receive the win for this, although I think he's been everything for the Warriors on the defensive end. I really do think that it should probably go to Evan Mobley out of the 3, but I could see Amen Thompson sneaking in and getting it. It's a very close race. Lewis then said Evan Mobley should win on the Cavs. Draymond was huge for the Warriors and is openly campaigning, but Mobley's 1.6 blocks and 0.9 steals and year-long consistency for Cleveland is too impressive to ignore. I absolutely agree. Vaccaro then said Mobley, and another too close to call with Green. This one goes to the player on the better team since it can't go to Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, with the issues with blood clots of Wemby, hope a speedy recovery for him soon. But yes, no, I understand that there. They think it's between Mobley and Green. I really think voters are going to come down to Mobley and Amen Thompson, and I do have Evan Mobley winning the Defensive Player of the Year this season. Love his game. We then look at Coach of the Year. The two front runners for this really seem to be between Kenny Atkinson and JB Bickerstaff. I think what Bickerstaff has been able to do, obviously, with the Detroit Pistons has been borderline revolutionary, getting them to the postseason with quite a similar roster, just a few role players they picked up more than anything, and a great season, of course, from Malik Beasley and a more healthy Cade Cunningham. But they did lose Jaden Ivey, who was a huge piece early. Did that help them? Did it not? Well, that's not really for me to say at this moment, because we're talking about the Coach of the Year, JB Bickerstaff, what he's done. And then Kenny Atkinson, of course, there as well. And some people talked about, obviously, who should win between the two, because I don't think that the Thunder will win Coach of the Year again. I really don't think it's going to go that way. I really think that it's going to go to Kenny Atkinson. If I was to put my opinion on it, I think the Cavs are such a good team, the top seed in the Eastern Conference above the Boston Celtics, and Atkinson has done a really, really good job with that franchise. Bondi agrees with me on that one, saying Kenny Atkinson should win of the Cavs, an easy vote. Anybody thinking about giving the nod to JB Bickerstaff should consider this. Atkinson took over the same roster Bickerstaff had last season and made it demonstrably better. That is a very good point as well. I mean, JB Bickerstaff was the Cavs head coach last year, and they weren't able to perform quite as well as they were with Kenny Atkinson. Let's give it to Kenny Atkinson, my opinion. Lewis also said Kenny Atkinson, the Long Islander, got fired by Brooklyn, wisely avoided the Charlotte dumpster fire, and now, in his first year in Cleveland, has guided the Cavs to the best roster in the East. Vaccaro also said Kenny Atkinson, so it's unanimous there, and my pick is also Kenny Atkinson, and this one would be a runaway pick, except ironically for the man, Atkinson replaced JB Bickerstaff, who's done an astonishing job reviving Detroit. Agree with that, and once again, my pick, Kenny Atkinson. We then look at Rookie of the Year, and it has been quite the underwhelming season there for rookies. Hasn't been so great, but my pick is Stephon Castle. I want to start with that. I think he's been great, especially since Wemby's gone down with injury. He's really stepped up. The other choices could be Zachary Ricochet, in my opinion. I don't really give a whole lot to Edey. It's been okay. But I really do think Khalil Weir has had just as good or better of season than Zach Edey has. Edey's on a much better team, so people look at that for sure. And I understand the votes going to Edey, but I really don't think it's as close as it is between Castle and Ricochet. I choose Castle personally, especially since Wemby going down. Bondi said that he chooses Castle as well of the Spurs. Tops the underwhelming 2025 rookie class, but his spotty three-point shooting has to improve to make it to the next level. We don't need to talk about that right now. We know he needs to work on that, but about all the rookies, none of them have really shot the ball too well if they're putting up any sort of points or taking shots for their team. Lewis then goes out to say Castle. His work after Wemby's blood clots put him clearly atop a poor rookie class that includes Zachary Ricochet and Zach Edey. Then, Vaccaro also chooses Castle, so it's unanimous and my choice as well, to succeed his teammate Wemby, and the two of them will start to give the rest of the league fits beginning next year. And I agree with that. Wemby back hopefully at 100% the beginning of next season. Him and Castle are going to make some noise, believe me. I really like Stephon Castle. I think he has star potential for sure. Sixth Man of the Year, it seems like it's going to go to either Malik Beasley or Peyton Pritchard. It's a pretty close one there. I also thought, shout out to Ty Jerome. I think he's had such a great season with the Cavs. He really seemed like a bit of a bust for the last several years, and this season he's been so good. I don't know what's happened to change that in his game. Could be the system. The opportunities are really coming to him, and he's definitely striked when he's had to. He's been great this year. Bondi said he chooses Malik Beasley from the Pistons and became a big part of Detroit's resurrection of the season with his elite three-point shooting, and it probably also helped with Jaden Ivey going down with injury, but he stepped up, and it really helped with Detroit's run this year, as they are automatically in the postseason playing the Knicks in the first round. Lewis said Peyton Pritchard of the Celtics. There were plenty of candidates from Beasley to Russell Westbrook, but Pritchard's career high, 14 points on 41% from deep, wins it out. Very good, obviously, Peyton Pritchard. Lots of love to him. He's been great for the Celtics, a great sixth man and bench piece, but I am giving it to Malik Beasley. I think he's been a little bit of everything for the Detroit Pistons. Vaccaro then said, also Beasley. He said, this is a losing vote because it seems a given that Pritchard is going to get it, but Beasley has been as vital as anyone in rejuvenating Motown. I do think that a lot of people are going to try to vote for the guy that's on the Celtics over the guy on the Pistons. I think that's what's ultimately going to come down to, and I do think Peyton Pritchard will win, but my choice is also Malik Beasley. Most improved player, Dyson Daniels. I mean, who else would it be? Trae Young voted for him. Got to put out his opinion on it. And Bondi and Lewis also say Dyson Daniels. Hawks, the silliest of NBA postseason awards goes to the Atlanta's top perimeter defender who has the task of covering up Trae Young's deficiencies in that area. Obviously, Trae Young, not known for his defense, a very bad defender, one of the worst ever if you look at it analytically. So for Dyson Daniels to lead the league in steals, great on him. Lewis says Daniels as well. Going into Friday, he'd nearly tripled his scoring to 14.3 points and was averaging about 6 boards and 4 assists and a league best 3 steals a game. Give it to Dyson Daniels. But Vaccaro said Cade Cunningham of the Pistons. Cunningham has taken a step up in levels as a player, and as a result, the Pistons have jumped up multiple levels. From wreckage right over respectable, right over play-in team to playoff participant, and maybe more. Great shout out there. I think Cade is also deserving of that award, but I do think ultimately it's going to go to Dyson Daniels as he's completely transformed his game, and I feel like Cade's progression has really had to do with injuries and the supporting cast being more reliable this season. Now, that's just my opinion on these awards, but let me know what you have to think down in the comments section below. Let me know if there's anybody that you think is a dark horse that could get some votes that you'd like to shout out, or who you think is going to win. But this has been my takes on everything on the award race and how the season has gone for a lot of teams and players. A little dive into that we did in this one. Bit of a longer video, but I hope you stayed until the end. And if you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for notifications, and I'll see you all in the next video.